I've arrived in Henan province, an area roughly twice the size of Scotland but home to around 100 million people. This feels more like the China I was expecting. It's a contrast to Beijing, certainly. Doesn't seem particularly Western at all. There's no big skyscrapers as far as I can see. It was in Henan in 1958 that Mao created his first ever People's Commune in China. Fitting, therefore, that Henan should also be the venue for one of the last. Nanji Commune is essentially a workers' cooperative, a last bastion of communism in a country that otherwise seems to be rapidly embracing the commercial excesses of the West. Well, this is very much the Communist Party Hall of Fame, isn't it? And in at number 5, we have Joseph Stalin over there. It's not often you see big pictures of Joseph Stalin anymore, not since it was proved that he was a mass murderer. But then again, you know how people talk. Next to him, we have Lenin here, before he formed the Beatles. And over here, Karl Marx, the only one of the Marx brothers never to appear in a movie. In the mid-90s, the Commune had some success with its own brands of pot noodles and beer. But recently, they've suffered from falling sales and work stoppages. So, in a desperate attempt to shore up their bankrupt economy, Nanji has turned to red tourism. And an estimated 400,000 devotees of communism pay to visit each year. We've gatecrashed the tour group of government officials. Emma, I wonder if you could ask the gentleman next to you whether he'd like to live in a commune himself?
Of course, this is my goal, basically, to live in Nanji Commune like this.
First on the itinerary is a tour of their famous noodle factory, which appears to be working flat out, at least for the purposes of our tour.
You can see actually noodle made of sort of flat, waiting to cook.
Do communist noodles taste any different to capitalist noodles?
I don't know.
Can you tell me what you thought of the noodle factory? I didn't have to speak Chinese to understand no comment, but they are government officials after all.
He's not happy.
Not happy? No.
No,
doesn't want to know. Oh well, never mind. I'm sure our next stop will provoke some lively debate. A visit to a model communist home. It's certainly better than the hotel we were staying in. There's a lot of room. It's very clean. The apartments all look identical here because every family sits on the same commune-issued sofa, watches the same TV set, and tells the time from the same tastefully discreet Chairman Mao clock. Does he mind being visited all the time by these people on the coach parties who come along and see him?
您觉得每天有这么多人都老到您家来，您觉得烦吗？
我们不烦。
When people come to our Nanji Commune, it's actually improving our Nanji Commune as well.
I see. It's getting more and more bizarre. In communist China, you have to go on a tour to visit a communist family. Can I ask you a question?
也不是问题了，就问你两句话。
This is your chance to win the Westovers your way of thinking. You're blowing it as far as I'm concerned. Just wanted to ask what they thought of the flat there. Well, we can see how communism has brought joy into their hearts. They're so pleased and willing to embrace us all, aren't they? We're clearly really annoying them. I don't know why. Well, I'm annoying them. But I hadn't realised quite how much. They don't want to know, do they?
No, they don't. Maybe it's still our way.
My group had had enough of my investigative journalism and abandoned me for another buggy. So, left to my own devices, I thought I would continue the tour on my own. And quite frankly, the more I saw of the place, the weirder it got. Quintessentially English game, croquet, with a mosque in the background. They even have their own cinema. Is this an interesting film?
Yeah.
But it only seems to show one film, and I guess most of them have seen it now. The upside for residents is free food, housing, healthcare and education for their kids. The slight downside is that women are forcibly sterilised after childbirth, and all residents have to endure compulsory self-criticism classes. But the residents still seem to have more of a sense of humour than the tour group. Do you want to try those? Are you good? Oh, you must have good eyesight to see through these. Finally, I bumped into a fellow foreigner.
That's it.
I told you it was weird here.
So, you live round here, do you? No, I'm a visitor. No, London. London, London. Well, you know, it's like this, only a little bit foggier, I suppose. And yourself? Really? Originally from Milton Keynes? You would surprise me. So, it's a lovely place you've got here.
On the next leg of my journey, I visit the famous Shaolin Temple.
They look so tough, really.
Find myself enrolled in a kung fu school.
See ya.
Discover spiritual enlightenment in Tibet.
Beautiful.
Invest in a pair of fighting crickets.
They're attacking me! Where's he gone?
And hit the bright lights of the world's most populated city.
Everybody's doing it wrong!